Hey guys, welcome back to Quick Notes with Chris on. Today we're going to be talking about the book Everything is Figureoutable by Forled. It's a really interesting book that's very empowering. I highly suggest it for anyone who's sort of new to the self-help game, not very advanced. It has very simple philosophies that you can start applying in your life literally as soon as tomorrow in order to start basically generating a better, more improved lifestyle, whether it's within your relationship, whether it's within your business, whether it's in your sport, no matter what aspect. I definitely think that if you apply at least even some or even a few of the easier concepts, you'll certainly be able to live a far better life. It's essentially talking about adopting a winner's mindset, more specifically a solution-oriented mindset. Figureoutable basically means that no matter what the situation is, if there is a problem, by definition there has to be a solution. You just have to look towards overcoming it, the basically trials and tribulations that come with overcoming these issues, and how you can overall look towards becoming better equipped whenever it comes to these situations. So, how to figure things out. It has a 10-step process. The first one, 9-step process. The first one is follow the right path. This one I actually quite agreed with. So no matter what, whenever you go into any industry, whenever you go into any relationship, whenever you go into anything, there is always a level of a blueprint for success that you can definitely follow. So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing, you're most likely not going to be the first, and you certainly won't be the last, which means people have been where you have before. And you can always look towards applying some of the things that they've learned, some of the basically techniques and tasks that you can actually apply to your job, your business, or whatever basically your journey is, in order to essentially make sure that you are on the right track and are getting there sooner rather than later, because of course everybody wants to attain success sooner rather than later. The next one is you've got to believe. Coinciding with the law of attraction here, if you don't yourself believe in what it is that you're saying, how do you expect it to come true? The book goes on to talk about our reality is shaped by our thoughts and beliefs, so therefore we are more in control of it than you think. And I think that actually breaks down even further. If you read any other sort of law of attractions by Bob Proctor or anything like that, it talks about how our circumstances are directly formed through our habits, and our habits are directly formed through our thoughts, specifically whatever we consciously think about. So if you care about, for example, a car a lot, let's say any type of car, I think that subconsciously, if you value it enough, your mind will directly make decisions to bring you closer to the environment of attaining that car. You'll stay back longer at work, you'll make sure that you make that investment, you'll start open a business, whatever it takes if you care about it enough in order to achieve what it is that you're looking at to set. And if that's the case within a logical standpoint, outside of a spiritual and the emotional side, you should definitely start looking towards understanding, refining the thoughts, beliefs, and values, specifically goals that you're looking towards achieving. The next one is eliminate excuses now. Too often than not, many people fall into the habit of essentially looking towards blaming other people. Now, first of all, if you are looking towards being successful, if you want to adopt this solution-oriented, figure-outable mindset, the first thing you need to understand is that you are in control of your life, every aspect of it. No circumstances that does not exist. You have to take extreme ownership of every outcome. See, the reason why it's so tough and so annoying whenever you start looking towards focusing on who to blame or what to blame is that all progress stops. Looking towards a solution ends up becoming secondary to figuring out what happened, who blamed it, and so on and so on and so on. So as a person who's looking towards becoming successful, take extreme ownership. Understand that if you have less than 1% of a stake in an outcome, you have a 100% opportunity to basically change it, and by definition, you are at fault. So what are the things that you could have done better? Don't make excuses for them, but make solutions for the problem. The next one is deal with fears decisively. Too often than not, when we come to doing a new project, a new activity, a new job, whatever it is, fear generally overwhelms you. And what you need to do is essentially understand wherever that fear is and attack it. The only way to cure fear is by action. And generally speaking, what you're most feared of most is probably the thing that you should be spending your time on. Whether it's work, whether it's business, whether working on that project or doing that assessment on time, putting it in. Don't procrastinate the fears or thing that you don't want to do the most, because chances are it's the most important towards progressing you closer to your success. Number 5 is take time to define your dreams. Stop thinking, start doing. And in order to stop thinking and start doing, you need to understand what actions you want to get to in order to achieve your goal. Too often rather than not, too many people get stuck in, oh, I really want to be successful, I really want to make $1 million, versus the plans in which to achieve that. If you understand your dreams, your goals, the next thing you need to do is start applying yourself. So often is that people get caught up and basically get scared of the fears and everything that comes along with it. If you adopt this sort of mindset that everything is figure-outable, then you'll understand that you have to have a level of failing forward. Next, which brings you to the next part. Always start before you're ready. Now, this is a little bit of a controversial one because you might be hearing that seeing as if that makes sense. But the truth is, whenever it comes to preparing for something or a project, you truly will never be actually ready. There just comes a time where you feel as if you're competent. And the second you reach that stage, or you realize as if your learning process in theory has reached a level where it's slowing down, start applying. There is so much learning that happens within the doing. I can only teach you so much in theory about how to shoot a basketball before you have to just go out there and have as many attempts as possible. Understand that any road towards success is going to experience drastic amounts of failure. In fact, so many people believe that setbacks is a reason as to why you shouldn't be successful, when in reality, the more times you fail is the direct path towards becoming successful. Get comfortable with failing. Understand that it's a part of the process. It's how you learn efficiently, and most importantly, it's the sign is this: you're going the right way in order towards becoming successful. The average business owner fails 7 businesses. So look out there, get your L's on your belt, and keep going towards learning and becoming successful. The next one that the book talks about is look for progress, not perfection. Not for perfection. Now, I really like this quote. I think it's quite interesting, and basically what it talks about is understanding that you're never going to be perfection. In fact, you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to might even be close. You might be the very best at your game, but at some point, it may not be in your lifetime, but in another, someone is going to overtake you, and whatever your accomplishments are. So you always want to actively look towards understanding that it's not necessarily about becoming the best or being the best that you can be, but improving day by day. If you've read some of the other books about this phenomenon, like the 1% rule, it talks about as long as we progressively grow, then no matter what, we will get closer to what we're looking to achieve. Now, the thing about the progress and not perfection quote is that people get too caught up in small incremental increases. If you want to have a level of success fast, you have to look towards drastically increasing it day by day. Every single time you reach your limit, look towards surpassing it every single other day until you're constantly looking towards never arriving, but always striving for that perfection, but understanding that progress is a part of the journey. Next one is refuse to be refused. Now, this is more of a mindset thing. Of course you're going to get no's, of course you're going to get refusals. But the thing is, it's not to let it weigh you down. People are always going to talk down to you, especially if you're looking towards pioneering or doing something that's different towards the status quo. But always understand that it's about what's your vision that you have for yourself and keep moving through it. Go for no. Keep understanding that the average business owner goes through millions of no's before they become successful. There's a famous story of Ray Kroc. He spoke to over 1,000 franchisees before he got one. Ray Kroc was a person who was expanding McDonald's. So if you're not ready to go through that level of no, if that level of rejection, if that level of refusal, then maybe you should change your mindset and alter it before you're ready to start moving in towards it. Understand that failing is a part of the journey. Once again, keep moving forward. Don't underestimate the fact that people are going to refuse you. Let them do it, but don't let them bring you down. Next one is, remember the world needs your gift. The world is far too diverse to not have you in it in order to whatever your dreams are and what you're looking towards accomplishing. If you want to change the world, then do whatever you can, start small and start working from there. But understand whatever big dreams you do have, you owe it to yourself and the world specifically to at the very least give it your all. So make sure that you're constantly looking out there. There's so many different ways to look towards it, and if you master all these different 9 rules, then you certainly will be someone who has the ability to figure everything out, and you will truly be figureoutable. I highly suggest that you do read a little bit more in-depth about this book, because there are a few more general concepts that you can certainly add towards whatever business you have or whatever just general leadership position you might be in. But the fundamental view and summary of the book is that be solution orientated. The definition of a problem means that there has to be a solution. Just because you don't understand it in the first place doesn't mean that it isn't present. Focus on the problem, don't look towards blaming. Understand that failure sometimes, coupled with decisiveness, is what gets you closer to the solution rather than getting it on the first try. Albert Einstein famously said that it's not that he's smarter than anyone, it's just that he sticks to problems longer. No matter what, don't give up. The only reason that you'll lose is if you stay on the ground when you fall. Always get up, keep learning, keep striving for success, and eventually, with an indefinite amount of time, you will eventually reach it. No matter what, especially if you apply these 9 laws, definitely you'll get there faster rather than later. Faster rather than later. Faster and sooner rather than later. Anyways, guys, that was it for Quick Notes with Croissant on Everything is Figureoutable by Marie Forled. I highly suggest you do look towards the other videos that we have on the site. There are a lot of personal things that the book does reference towards other success books that you can definitely learn a little bit more in depth. I have done a few book summaries on them previously in the other videos that are uploaded. So if you do think you want to learn a little bit more in depth about solution-oriented thinking, I do definitely think that you start looking towards our Irrefutable Laws series. You'll find some of the concepts that we have on there, break down some of the laws that she speaks in this book a little bit more in depth. So I highly suggest you go back towards the channel, look at some of the other uploads that we have going on in order to keep striving for improvement and putting yourself in a better position for success. If you like what we're doing in the new format, I highly suggest you like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell in order to make sure that you get the notification, and share with a friend if you definitely think that it might be able to help them. Maybe they're in a leadership position, might be struggling with motivating certain people, or might just be struggling generally with themselves. Who knows? Anyways, guys, don't stop there when it comes to improvement. Keep looking to put yourself in a better position for success. I'm Chris, and I'll see you in the next one.